Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful morning up here in Old Town, Alexandria, just outside of D.C. Looking forward to 1 o'clock this afternoon, heading to my buddy's retirement ceremony over at the Navy Yard. 30 years of service to this country. Great American. Had dinner last night with some buddies I haven't seen in decades, man. Just heroes all around, great Americans. Telling some sea stories, some of them true, some of them complete lies, but who cares? So having a blast up here and looking forward to today. As we hover, we're sitting here hovering over this 50-day moving average, kind of magically hovering, and that's not a good sign, right? We have a lot going on. Obviously, this complete and embarrassing shit show right down the street from me in Washington yesterday was sheer comedy. If it was so serious, it would be a comedy with little Adam Schiff kind of opening his hearing, right, with a lie. He made up a complete conversation between the president and the president of Ukraine, and it was to make him sound like a mobster. Could you imagine if a witness under oath testified like that and then said, "Oh well, after his testimony, walked out in the hallway and said, "Oh wait, that was supposed to be a parody." They would have throw him in jail. So whatever. I'm not even going to talk too much about this, but it's the market really believes that the president's fine. The president will not be impeached. I don't, well, the Republicans are showing cracks. The governor of Vermont, the quote Republican governor of Vermont, it's got Bernie Sanders as a senator. Vermont the Vermont governor is not a crack. And the same thing with, the Senate Republicans are getting nervous. Mitt Romney's not a Republican. He's the ghost of John McCain. He's a rhino. And like the people of Utah would want Donald Trump impeached or like Elizabeth Warren to win. Are you mental? So again, folks, if you hate the guy, you hate him more, and you're happy. If you love the guy, you love him more, and you're happy because this is just an absolute joke. And if you're in the middle, you hate all of this, which will make you drift towards the president. They couldn't get him on the Russia collusion, so now they're going to try and get him on this. And the other thing that the reason they did this, Nancy did this before even seeing the transcript or knowing anything about the whistleblower, is because guess what's about to drop? Remember, President Trump still has all these FISA warrants, right? Jim Comey, Clapper, Brennan, McCabe, they're going to be indicted. The Democrats know this is coming and wanted to do this before all of that gets dropped. We're going to find out that there literally was treason and an attempt to overthrow the president. First of all, they were trying to get him not elected. And second of all, after he got elected, they tried to get him out. This is treason, folks. People are like, I can't believe he said that yesterday. I'm like, he's right. You know what we used to do with people who committed treason against their country? We hung them or we shot them. Maybe if we start bringing that penalty back instead of getting book deals or CNN hosts, people would pay attention. All right, enough. It's going to be a good day. Great for our portfolios, folks. This is fantastic. We have a VXX bull put spread expiring this afternoon for max profit, about $2,800. We have a bear call spread on FXI that's expiring today for $3,100. And we have a Raytheon iron Condor that's going right down the fairway, right? I need it right underneath 197.5. We were just at 190. What the hell were we a couple seconds ago? So this one's going to go into the close. I'm going to have to dogfight this one, bring my phone to the ceremony. Obviously, sitting there, probably sitting in the back, watching my phone a little bit to keep an eye on the bear call spread. What's the break even on the bear call spread? 198.37. So 198.37. As long as we're underneath that on the bear call spread, and we're at 198.25. So looking pretty good on the bear call spread. And in a couple other profiles, we have another Raytheon bear call spread and also another FXI. So we're looking at about, I think that's rough math over here, about close to 11 grand this week in profitable trades. We have some American Airlines trades that are going down range. Why? Because of oil. Let's talk about that real quick. Oil drops after Iran claims U.S. offered to remove sanctions. Trump went apeshit this morning when he heard that. So apparently, the great Supreme Burrito here offered, to meet with the president and to sit down and talk. And he said, "You got to remove all the sanctions." Trump said, "What are you, nuts?" No. So of course, standard media stuff. What's out there first is usually a lie, and with their narrative, they said, "Oh, the president considered dropping sanctions to talk," and the president's like, "What are you talking about?" No. State Department called the reporting baseless. Isn't this insane? When like 50 people deny something, but the media still reports it and says, but our source, our unnamed source, says they did. So it's 50-1, and the one you're claiming is unnamed. This is where we are in America, folks. This is where it is, right? Me Too movement. Unless it's against a Democrat, and then they're not to be believed. This is going to get ugly, man. This country is hurtling towards a second civil war, and to be honest with you, I'm at this point where I'm ready. That's what I want. Take your New York and California and what other liberal bastion with your let's ban plastic straws but give out plastic needles to drug addicts who then take a crap on our sidewalks. Why don't you guys just leave? Put up your wall, put walls around where you guys are, and come back to us in a couple of years and let us know how your liberal experiment went. Okay, I can already tell you. And oh, by the way, any new illegal immigrants that come through the borders, we'll ship them all to those sanctuary cities and states. Let us know how this turns out for you. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so China negotiations, we had a little bit of a rise that we're going to be talking in October. But Asia stocks mostly fall on what? China data and trade uncertainty. They came out with some industrial their production. So their industrial companies, their productions dropped 2% in August from a year ago, right? And that reversed a 2.6% gain from the previous month, indicating growing pressure on the corporate sector as the economy slows further. Economic weakness may continue to weigh on industrial profit and growth going forward. So we'll see what happens here in a couple weeks. The president, the only reason we popped the other day for a little bit right here was what? In the middle of the frothing at the mouth impeachment discussions, the president said, we're going to get a trade deal sooner than you guys think. And of course, that was red meat for the market, but there was no follow through. Okay, we've heard this. This is going to be, you ready for this? The last round where they left and went home and didn't go meet with the farmers was number 13, right? Lucky number 13, the round. So this will be the 14th discussions. And now we're going to have a breakthrough? Well, we'll see. Obviously, the impeachment proceedings against Trump are not bullish for the Chinese to make a deal, because they can sit there and go, this dude might not even make it. Right? He's going to get impeached and maybe not even make it through his first term. They really don't get the internal dynamics of this country. That ain't going to happen. And if that does happen, there's about 300 million guns in this country, and you're going to find out. You think Antifa is tough with their masks and running around? Yeah. Most of them couldn't even get a gun license or pass a background check, like Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke wants to seize your guns because he's a felon. He's got a criminal record for a DUI and burglary, but he wants to take your gun? Isn't that great? A guy lecturing you about this, about taking your gun, who couldn't even own one himself. Come and get it, Beto. I'll give it to you one bullet at a time. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics. Does Trump want to get a deal before the election? Or, as he's running around saying, he's like, hey, man, if you impeach me, it's almost like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. If you strike me down now, I'm going to be, more powerful. And I think that's exactly going to be the case. Even if he gets impeached in the House, the Senate's not going to vote for him. I could care less about Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney will have to face the voters of Utah. And then when he does another 4 years, he's going to be just super like a boss. So China's going to be screwed. So it'll be interesting to see the dynamics here. Kind of some mixed macroeconomic data today. U.S. consumer spending slowed sharply in August. Personal consumption nudged up just 0.1% there. So let's take a look at it. Core durable goods, a little bit of a beat. Personal spending, not good. That was an implosion. We saw 0.5, wanted a little bit of a slowdown, or forecast a little bit of a slowdown, got more of a slowdown. A little inflation downgrade. Durable goods was good. Personal income was flat, but consumer sentiment was a little bit of a beat. So yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I mean, kind of mixed macroeconomic data, which sticks to our narrative of we're good, right? He didn't need to cut interest rates here. He did, and that happened. He didn't need to cut interest rates here. He did, and this is going on. So just taking a look at that, folks, the Fed's ability to kind of talk this market up and keep it up here is going away. And the Donald Trump put, hey, we're going to get a trade deal sooner than you think. Ooh, 150 points up. If he did that a year ago, we would have been, remember what those like 800-point up or down days on China trade talks? Now it's we're getting tone deaf to it, okay? I still believe we're heading down to the 50-day moving average. I'm going to, pull out my wallet today and try and get a lot of folks a little loopy, see if I can get some intel about what's going on. But I'm sticking with the prediction that in the next 2 weeks, within the next 2 weeks, Iran's going to do something, and it's going to be bigger. Hopefully, no U.S. lives are lost, but we are set up for that. We're bearish on American Airlines because I think oil's going to spike and the airlines are going to pull in here. So we have some a bear call spread right here, and I bought some 26.5 puts. So I definitely think Iran's going to saber rattle again. And at this point, Trump's not going to be able to ignore it. And guess what's going to happen? He's going to respond militarily to this one. He hasn't responded so far, but he responds to this one. And guess what? I'm telling you already, I can write Nancy Pelosi's speech. He's doing this to wag the dog, right? Remember that movie in the 90s, Wag the Dog? A president kind of created an overseas crisis and war to galvanize support at home. So when President Trump responds to the next Iranian round of stuff, Democrats will not rally behind him, and they will say he's doing this to distract from his impeachment proceedings. The Republicans, to their failure, did that with Clinton. Clinton launched when I was over in Operation Desert Storm. Clinton launched some cruise missiles with Operation Desert Fox, and the Republicans screamed, frothing at the mouth, that he was doing it to distract from the Lewinsky crisis, which is just, it was wrong to do. But the Democrats, and I'll admit that it was wrong for them to do. I was over there, and then the Democrats now will do it, and it's going to be wrong for them, and it's going to blow up in their face. Okay? All right, I got to get going. Got to go put like a coat and tie on, which I haven't worn in years, which is fantastic, and go see some true American heroes, man. Really miss these guys, and it was great having dinner with some of them last night. It was the happiest time of my life, and looking forward to seeing these guys. All right, and I'll let you know without names if I hear any intel. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see you later.